Hey yo guys, I'm back here to give you my predictions on tonight's HBO Boxing After Dark card, as well as tomorrow night's WWE No Way Out pay-per-view, which takes place in Seattle, Washington, and tonight's HBO Boxing After Dark card takes place at the Bank Atlantic Center in, I believe, Orlando, Florida. I can't remember, but I know this is the same building that held the last Elite XC mixed martial art event. Sorry about that. Yeah, but both cards look pretty good. HBO Boxing After Dark always puts on, good cards that they like to showcase the up-and-comers, and, they really hyped it up that they're going to really try and focus on that more so than any year this year in 2009 at the end of their last show. I don't know if we're going to get into any exciting fight as well as in the last HBO Boxing After Dark, as in the Luis Collazo versus Andre Berto fight, which was just excellent, an early fight of the year contender. The only fight I think on here that we can get, in that range is the Sergio Martinez versus Kermit Cintron bout. I'm really looking forward to that one, as just because I love Kermit Cintron's type of style. Anyways, I should get to my predictions on here, but one quick note, I guess, before No Way Out. It's going to be interesting. I like this pay-per-view now, since they've added the Elimination Chambers. It's actually, the chambers are such a draw on pay-per-view that people will order them to see them, and, they put them on a pay-per-view that, used to be terrible. I mean, no one cared about them at all. They tried to build, main matches going into Mania with that. You can't really do that. I like the fact that, the chamber adds the surprises and the pieces to fall in play before we get to Mania. Normally it was just, let's go straight from Rumble to Mania, and, they would always overlook No Way Out, but now they actually have to put their brains and thoughts on what to do with this pay-per-view. So that's just my thoughts here. But anyways, getting things underway here with the HBO Boxing After Dark card. This will be aired 10 p.m. Eastern here on Eastern Standard Time. The main event, which I believe is which is the main event, which it was supposed to be Nick Campbell defending his lightweight championships. I believe it's the WBA, the WBO, and the IBF lightweight championships. He was supposed to defend those, but the one thing that happened to Nate is yesterday he could not make the weight of the 135-pound limit. So I believe this obviously will not be a title fight, and I believe he's been stripped of the championships, which is something I always commend boxing on. As an incident like this happened in mixed martial arts with Chael Sonnen and Paulo Filho at WEC 36. They didn't make it a title fight, no, but they didn't strip Filho of the championship. That's just, bullshit in my opinion. But yeah, I always commend boxing when they do stuff like that. Thoughts on this fight? I think, that aspect of Campbell not making weight would be interesting, as, Campbell and his first title defense take place back in Biloxi, Mississippi, on a Showtime Championship boxing card with Timothy Bradley versus Edner Cherry supposed to be the undercard of that, or the semi-main card fight. His opponent Yoan Guzman or whatnot, he couldn't make the weight, and he dehydrated himself trying to make the weight, and when also his camp called it quits, said they were going to have the fight. Campbell was upset about it, obviously, as he should have. He lost a big payday and whatnot. But, hey, now Campbell falls in the same boat as that. So that's disappointing. We're going to have a fight. It'll be, it'll be at a catch weight. But still, this fight should be interesting. Campbell's taking on Ali Funeka. Funeka is a guy a lot of people haven't seen since, all of his bouts have taken place in his homeland of South Africa. In his last fight, Funeka's fight, he took on Zaire Rahim. This is the only fight I've really seen of him. I mean, he's a tall, lanky dude. He can, he's a giant for, lightweight. But anyways, in that fight with Zaire Rahim, he TKOs him at the end. He knocked him out, TKO, whatever you want to say, at the end of the 6th round. A lot of people are making a big deal that, he, absolutely knocked out Rahim. Well, it was after the bell rang, and the decision still stands nonetheless. But how do I see this one going? To me, I think, the keys to victory for Funeka: be the tall fighter, don't fight too close, use your distance, use your jab from the far back position, and, don't try and make this, a brawl with, don't try and make it a brawl, whatnot, just, use your distance and whatnot. Campbell, what he's going to want to do, because Campbell, throw punches to the body, I think that's what he's probably going to do here. try and, throw those punches to the body because he's a bigger opponent. And, we all know if you work the body, the head will fall. So that's what he'll probably do here. But now I guess with the added weight, I think there may be a little bit more, power behind that. I mean, that's what I'm going to say there. So I don't know where to go with this. I guess I'm going to make an upset pick. Probably I'm going to take Ali Funeka to get the victory here. I'm just making a pick here. I just feel that, the weight issue may have, taken Campbell out of his game, Funeka's game to fight, and I think I'm gonna go with Ali Funeka to be my upset pick here. Then I go to the next fight, which should be a real interesting fight in Sergio Martinez versus Kermit Cintron. An interesting note about this fight in relations to the whole Antonio Margarito incidents. Both these men have fought Antonio Margarito. Both were knocked out by them. Cintron was knocked out twice by Margarito, but with the whole hand wrap incident, that makes, both those decisions fall into question. How do you see this one going? How do I see this one going out, I should say? Well, I like Martinez, but he's more a boxer. I think, Cintron's just going to let his hands go, and I think he's going to try and overwhelm Sergio Martinez. That's how I see this one happening. I see, Cintron overwhelming him, being like a Tijuana Tornado that, Margarito is, because they're sort of the same, but not really. I see him, that's happening here with Cintron, and, probably, getting a TKO or, a ref stop it, or that's obviously that, but a TKO or a KO, probably the 6th rounds where I'll go around there, midway through the fight, but that's where I see this one going down. Then we go to the next fight, which I believe was supposed to be one of the mainer fights. Now it is not, but that's mainly because Ricardo Mayorga has pulled out of the fight due to the fact that, they couldn't come to agree on terms for money. And that'll be Alfred Angulo, and he's going to take on Cosme Rivera. Rivera is a veteran fighter who's been through a lot of wars. That always falls into play, especially when you're going up against young up-and-comers and Angulo. Plus, Rivera's coming up on this fight, with only a couple days to a week's notice. So that never really bodes well. I don't think that's going to do the greatest justice here, especially with this up-and-comer Angulo. I'm taking Angulo to win this fight pretty quickly. 3rd and 4th round stoppage. That's how I see this one going. But yeah, that's my thoughts there. I'm excited for this night of fights. We'll see where we go from here in boxing. Boxing's actually put out some pretty good cards as of late. A lot of these, a lot of the combat sports, how I can't hate on, box. I can't just say one sport has it. I mean, a lot of them have, all of them have it. So I'm excited for that, and it should be a good night of fights. Anyways, then we move over to the realm of the WWE presenting their No Way Out pay-per-view tomorrow night. I gotta say, once again, this card looks pretty good. Not a lot of matches, but still, that's fine. They always give the chamber matches, at least 20 to 30 minutes, which is what the chamber needs. There's a lot, there's a couple interesting undercard matches with, the HBK JBL match, with the Freedom match, what have you, if HBK wins. And, the ECW title match is now interesting since, you have Christian re-debuting on the ECW brand. But anyways, let's get to, and you also have No Holds Barred with Orton and McMahon, so that should be, a typical Shane McMahon match. Definitely will not be anything on par from King of the Ring 2001 with Shane and Kurt, but still should be fun. Anyway, we go to the predictions here. I'll start with the Freedom match in JBL versus Shawn Michaels. Really, to me, a lot of people are already, putting their baskets on Shawn winning and being free to kill this feud, to go to WrestleMania, to take on Undertaker. And to me, while that sounds all good and nice, no, I'm not ready for that to happen just quite yet. I think, personally, I hate to be a spoiler person or whatnot. Not a spoiler person, but I feel that they're going to not do that match. I'm sorry. I just don't see them doing it. I see happening here is, Shawn probably dictates the pace a lot. That's how they'll book it, have him dictate the pace. JB will get his moments in there. But Shawn will become overwhelmed by rage, with all the stuff he's had to do and all the verbal abuse he's had to take, what have you. JBL does some drastic, I don't know, you could have Shawn's wife at ringside. I don't know if they'll do that, but you could. And she gets, knocked down by JBL whenever Shawn snaps and, gets disqualified. Thus, we go to WrestleMania with, JBL saying that, I still will own you. You know what? You can be free once again, and you never have to worry about me. But if you lose, you have to retire just like you retired Ric Flair last year. So that's how I see this one going Mania. But prediction will be JBL by disqualification. Moving over to the no holds barred match, it'll be Randy Orton versus Shane McMahon. As I said, this is gonna be a typical Shane McMahon match where, weapons all over the place, and it's what you're gonna expect. And you know what? I've heard some people say that there's probably gonna be blood. I still don't see the WWE doing blood. They're still PG. They're not gonna do blood and what have you yet. If there's blood, it'll be hard way blood. That's the only way I see this happening. But how do you see this going? You definitely don't have Randy Orton get beaten going into WrestleMania. I mean, Randy Orton's, one of the top acts in the company now. I see you make it like a hard-fought bout. Probably legacy. You'll definitely get a legacy run in here. Shane does coast to coast, what have you. My only concern is how Shane's cardio will be in this match. As if you've seen, when Shane turned and beat down all legacy, he was gassed within 40 seconds of the segment, and he just looks like his time of doing those sick, crazy spots have taken a toll on his body. If you saw him do coast to coast on Raw on Ted DiBiase, that looked pretty bad for him. I mean, I thought he was gonna, his back looked like it was in so much pain it wasn't even funny. But to me, I see Randy Orton getting the win, and I don't know where you go. I guess one way they could go is have Triple H and Randy Orton again at Mania. Wouldn't we want to see that? I don't know. But anyways, that's my pick, Randy Orton. Moving over to the ECW Championship match. This match won't spend that much time on. The match, it should be good, as, Swagger's, an actual strong All-American wrestler, and Finlay is, we all know how good Finlay is in the ring. The match they had on ECW was a pretty good match and all. But to me, the factor goes in. I think they're going to either do two things with Mania for the ECW belt. One, have a triple threat match with Swagger versus Finlay versus Christian. Or, they have, Christian win on ECW and have Christian be in Money in the Bank and then eventually win Money in the Bank. I don't know what you want to... I think, that's the more likely scenario, is they don't really give ECW title matches that big props on, the big shows, especially Mania. We all remember last year's 9-second match with Kane and Chavo. But anyways, this match to me, I think if you do the triple threat scenario, which could be a bit more likely potential, I guess, I say you go have Swagger retain. He gets the win. Christian comes out, I guess screw Swagger, but hits Finlay by accident. Swagger, Dr. Bomb, victory. That's how we go. And, if you're going to do a triple threat, you may as well have the belt on the guy who needs it the most, and Swagger. So that's my thoughts there. And then we move over to the Elimination Chamber matches. The first one, which is the Raw Chamber, which has Cena defending the World Heavyweight Championship match versus sending the World Heavyweight title against Chris Jericho, Mysterio, Mike Knox, Kofi Kingston, and Kane. Now, to me, this match is definitely going to be the weaker match, but I like how they're throwing some of the young guys in there. I didn't like really how they got Kofi in there. I mean, it was supposed to be amazing that they put Kofi Kingston in the main event, but really, I mean, he's eating the pin in the... he ate the pin on the I believe the go-home with, a code breaker, and as well the fact that, how he got the win by pinning Kane, well, basically he got dominated the whole match and then got a roll-up. That doesn't get anyone over. I mean, I think that's common. We all know that does not get anyone over. But really, I think what you probably will do most likely is have, Cena go up against Knox or Kane first and go through everyone, just to build him up even more. He beats Jericho at the end of the match. I don't know where... That's how I see this one going. I mean, Cena's clearly the most obvious choice to win this match. I don't think... Because there's no way Knox, Kane, and Kingston get the belt. Mysterio, no. They don't want to take a... I don't think they would probably, but I don't think there's no point in taking a run with Mysterio. Mysterio could be another Money in the Bank guy, what have you. And Jericho... I don't know. It looks like they're grooming him for either the match with Mickey Rourke or a match with Ric Flair. So that's obvious. The plans there. So Cena will obviously retain. But then you go over to the SmackDown chamber match, which actually has some intrigue because there's no real clear winner in this match. With the exception of Kozlov, I should say. Vladimir Kozlov is the only one I see not being in this match. So, this is the SmackDown Chamber. It's got Edge defending the WWE Championship against The Undertaker, Triple H, Jeff Hardy, The Big Show, and Vladimir Kozlov. So basically you have 4 contenders in winning, and what you could do potentially is, have Undertaker, win. He could feud with then Michaels going in, but like I said, that's unrealistic. I don't think they'd do that as the championship match. Jeff, I don't think they want to give him the belt because he still has to feud with Matt Hardy. I mean, they could. There's always the chance of doing it, giving the belt back to Jeff, but he's got to feud with Matt Hardy. Triple H is, the other scenario, but I think they're going to probably make Triple H and Orton be a Mania match, even though we haven't seen that. Big Show and Edge are in my opinion, the 2 choices. You can go with Edge going into WrestleMania to, I guess, take on Triple H as well for the belt. That to me, I guess, seems the one I want to see more, even though it feels like it got killed from what they did at Great American Bash last year, but still I think that's the more intriguing program. With Edge being the heel and, dropping it to Triple H at Mania. That's probably what they'll do. But, I think the interesting one they could do is have, do the Orton Triple H program, and have Edge versus Big Show for the belt at WrestleMania. That's what they could do. They've kind of been building towards that on the SmackDowns as of recent. And just have, Big Show get basically get Triple H, what have you, looks like he's gonna, but gets speared, Edge retains, or you could have even put the belt on Big Show and, have, Edge not be in the deciding fall. That pisses Edge off. We go there with Mania. That's my thoughts there, but I still think Edge will retain. I think Edge is always the smart choice to retain. That's just my thoughts there. Should be a good pay-per-view. Should be a good set of boxing. Just one more thing before I go. For my review, you're gonna see Mondays. I obviously have to wait till Sunday to see the WWE pay-per-view. In the comments section, when you comment, I would like you to leave an opinion of each show if you've seen the boxing or the WWE pay-per-view. Whichever one you see, or if you see both, you can leave 2 comments, what have you. Leave, was the show thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, thumbs down, and best match, worst match, and why. I would like to know some of your opinions other than good show. Explain why it was a good show. Why do you think, what was the best match? What was the worst match? Let's go, methodically. I know the comment box is 500 characters, but, you can still keep writing, what have you, other comments, whatever. That's just what I want to have. I mean, I want, thoroughly thought out opinions, not just, good stuff, what have you. That's great and all, if you're in grade, but that's just me, wanting, some creative discussion. I mean, I like reading, good opinions on anything, whether it's boxing, mixed martial arts, and the professional wrestling. That's just my thoughts on that. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm out. Peace.